All Souls, this confluence of holidays where the veil between the worlds is thinnest today. So thank you, those in witches' hats and bat wings. I see a few of you. Welcome, welcome. Whoever you are, in costume or not, whomever you love, however you experience the sacred, whoever you are, we hope you feel welcome here in the fullness of yourself. There's a book at the back of the sanctuary. If there's a joy or a sorrow in your heart that you'd like lifted up today, I'll read them aloud later in the service. I invite you to write something there if you wish, or to light a candle for a silent memory or prayer. Today we're having a different kind of a service. We are celebrating these holidays with an all-ages service of story and ritual. So we won't have a sermon, we'll just be telling a story, and I'm going to need some help. So if you would like to be part of this story, now would be a great time to come on down to the rug over here, and we're going to find some various animals. If you're already on the rug, that's great. You can just stay right there. And we're going to find you some animals to be part of this story. You can be any age to take part in this story, and we will tell it together. Will you all rise in body or in spirit and sing together as we arrive? It's 73 in that gray hymnal. It's on the screen, a chant for the seasons, just the autumn verse.
Time has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Gay the angling song, sweet upon the air, the smell of bloom is rising. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Glorious the trees, glorious the sight of rust leaves falling. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us.
Good morning. I'm Jason, and I will be your worship associate today. As we light our chalice to begin our service, we remind ourselves that our church occupies land in Huchian, the unceded territory of the Chochenyo-speaking Ohlone people. May we have the humility and courage to do our part to restore what has been broken, and the wisdom to live into a new solidarity with indigenous communities and the earth. Let us kindle our chalice flame with these words by Florence Kaplow. We'll wait for Reverend Marcus. He's having too much fun over there with the kiddies. As we kindle this flame, we honor and remember those who have passed into the mystery. Their brightness lives on in our vision. Their courage lives on in our commitments. And their love continues to bless the world through us. Would you join us in saying our covenant? Love guides this church. The quest for truth and justice its common purpose. To give thanks, listen deeply, speak with care, honor our differences, and seek and grant forgiveness. These things we covenant with one another.
this song last week, and we have a different arrangement. I will teach it to you, so call response. And I changed the words also. We shall be known by the company we keep. Your turn. We shall be by the ones who circle round to tend these sacred rites. We circle round by the company we keep. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who sow the seeds of change and love, by the ones who seeds of love, change and love. Sorry about that. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we transform to lead in love. One more time, call response. We shall be known by the company we keep. By the ones who circle round to tend these sacred rites. By the ones who circle round to tend these sacred rites. We shall be known by the company we keep. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap. The seeds of change and hope from deep within the earth. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. Time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we transform to lead in love. Everyone, from the beginning, we shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these sacred rites. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change and hope from deep within the earth. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we transform to lead in love. In this great turning we transform to lead in love. In this great turning we transform to lead in love. In this great turning we transform to lead in love.
Once upon a time, there was a fox. The fox who had lived with all of the other animals in the forest, lived with seal and Puffin, thanks, yeah, Puffin, and Shamu, and a snake, an owl, and who else did and a caterpillar, and bear, and tiger, and crocodile, and a cat? Fox had lived with all the other animals of the forest. But Fox had lived a long and happy life, and he was now very tired. And slowly, very slowly, Fox made his way to his very favorite spot in the clearing. He looked at his beloved forest one more time, and then Fox lay down and closed his eyes and took a deep breath and fell asleep forever. He died. Everything around Fox was still and peaceful. Snow began to fall in the forest, covering Fox with a soft blanket.
I'd watched Fox from the top of his tree.
Owl, come on up.
He flew down and landed next to his friend. Owl was very sad. He had known Fox for a very long time. But Owl knew that the time had come for his friend to leave.
So as Owl and Fox sit there in this forest moment, it might be this song that Owl heard whistling through the leaves. Would you rise once more in body or spirit, and we'll sing together Breaths. It's 1001 in that teal hymnal if you want to look at the music.
Okay, here we go. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Ah, ooh, shh, ah. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are the arms of the trees. They are the groaning of the woods. They are in the crying of the grass. They are in the moaning of the rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more closely to than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. It's the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. It's the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Shh, whoosh. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a part with the living. They are the woman's breast. They are the welling, the child. They are the witness over homes. They are wish us in this crowd. The dead have no pact with the living. So listen more fondly with doings than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings.
Now, news spread in the forest, as news does of these things, and one by one, all of Fox's friends from the forest came to the clearing to visit where Fox had died. Snake had come, and seal, and caterpillar came, and then there was bear, and porpoise, and penguin? Is it penguin? Come on up. Yeah, come gather around Fox. All of Fox's friends came to sit. Fox had been loved by all of these animals. He'd been kind and caring. No one could imagine life in the forest without him. And so the animals sat, and they sat in silence, feeling all the many things that they felt in their hearts together, sitting around in that clearing for a long time.
Owl was the first to speak. He smiled warmly and said, "I remember when Fox and I were very, very young. Every autumn, we raced to see who could catch more falling leaves." The other animals remembered, and they smiled.
Squirrel was there, said softly, "I remember how much Fox loved the sunset. He always sat at this exact spot." The animals remembered. Many of them had joined Fox watching the sun go down. It was a happy memory, and their sad hearts filled with warmth. Bear remembered how Fox had looked after her cubs one spring. And Porpoise smiled when she told the story of how Fox had played tag with her. Animals talked about how Fox had helped them dig up buried nuts in the deep snow. One by one, animals remembered their favorite stories about Fox. Fox had touched the lives of all the other animals in the forest with his warmth and his kindness, and they all, as they sat around sharing these stories, smiled, remembering him. Will you rise once more in body or spirit, and we'll sing a familiar song. Come, sing a song with me. A song that perhaps the animals sang to one another as they brought hope when hope is hard to find.
Here we go. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you love when hope is all divine. And I'll bring a song of love in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know
I invite you, like those animals in the woods, to settle into a deeper breath, to gather in stillness and silence with whatever is in your heart. And you might find yourself, if you want to get really comfortable up here, you might lie on down to the ground for a few minutes. We're going to just be still and quiet together. So whatever you need to do to be still. Or not. Brilliance. Brilliance by Mark Doty. Maggie's taking care of a man who's dying. He's attended to everything, said goodbye to his parents, paid off his credit card. She says, "Why don't you just run it up to the limit?" But he wants everything squared away, no balance owed, though he misses the pets. He's already found a home for. He can't be around dogs or cats, too much risk, he says. He says, "I can't have anything." She says, "A bowl of goldfish?" He says he doesn't want to start with anything, and then describes the kind he'd maybe like, how their tails would fan to a gold flaring. They talk about hot jewel tones. Gold lacquer, say maybe they'll go pick some out, though he can't go much of anywhere. And then abruptly he says, "I can't love anything I can't finish." He says it like he's had enough of the whole scintillant world. Though what he means is he'll never be satisfied, and therefore he has established this discipline, a kind of severe rehearsal. That's where they leave it. Him looking out the window, her knitting as she does because she needs to do something. Later, he leaves a message. Yes to the bowl of goldfish. Meaning, let me go if I have to, in brilliance. In a story I read, a Zen master who'd perfected his detachment from the things of the world remembered at the moment of dying a deer he used to feed in the park and wondered who might care for it. And at that instant was reborn in the stunned flesh of a fawn. So Maggie's friend, is he going out into the last loved object of his attention, fanning the veined translucence of an opulent tail, undulant in some uncapturable curve? Is he bronze chrysanthemums, copper leaf, hurried darting doubloons, icon-colored fins troubling the water? Sacred Spirit abiding in both life and death, God of brilliance, of goldfish, of the whole scintillant world, hold us in this stillness, in this silence we will share. Hold us in the mystery of memory. Let our grief grow us. Let it show us how our love has shaped us, given us the courage to see clearly there is no life, no love without loss. And when we would seek safety in the numbing gray detachment, may we find a friend still there, an animal in the woods or knitting by our side, talking of running up credit cards and offering a bowl of goldfish. May we find ourselves unable to resist falling in love again, even as we remember all we have lost. As leaves fall, bronze chrysanthemums, copper leaf doubloons, icon-colored, may we hold among us in this stillness those who have watched, those who have shone, have fallen, have troubled the waters. May we remember and honor our beloved dead. In this community of care and witness, we hold one another through the seasons of our lives. Today we are with Catherine Hanway, who shares my best friend Dan is now in hospice, feeling grief and gratitude for his outstanding effects on the lives of so many. And we offer our memories with whomever remembers and writes of Anne Harley, who recently passed away. And we celebrate, too, a happy, joyful Halloween birthday to Jim Gasparini. For all that has been named and all that remains yet in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, may each of us know that what we bring here is held in the loving embrace of this community, and by that deeper, wider love beyond all naming that cannot and will not let us go. May it be so, and amen.
Weaver, weaver, weave her thread, whole and strong into your web. Healer, healer, heal our pain. In love may we return again. We are dark and we are bright. We are formed from earth and light. From joy and pain our lives are spun. But all too soon the spinning's done. Everybody. Weaver, weaver, weave our thread, whole and strong into your web. Healer, healer, heal our pain. In love may we return again. No one knows why we are born. A web is made, a web is torn. Like wandering seabirds we alight and rest one moment, then take flight. Everyone. Weaver, weaver, weave into your web. Healer, healer, heal our pain. In love may we return again. So may we find the hidden way beyond the gates of night and day, to that sweet land where apples grow and endless healing waters flow. Weaver, weaver, weave our thread, whole and strong, into your web. Healer, healer, heal our pain. In love may we return again. One more time. Weaver, weaver, weave our thread, whole and strong, into your web. Healer, healer, heal our pain. In love may we return again. In love may we return again. In love may we return again.
While the animals talked, a little orange plant grew out of the snow where the fox was lying. Small and delicate at first, and hardly noticeable. The plant grew bigger and bigger and bigger and stronger and more beautiful. It grew more and more beautiful with each and every story. The animals talked about fox all through the night, and in the morning, the little plant had grown into a small tree. The animals saw the tree and knew that fox was still part of them. During the next days, weeks, and months, the animals remembered many more stories about fox. Their heavy hearts began to feel lighter. The more they remember, the more the tree grew higher and higher and higher and more beautiful, until it was the tallest tree in the whole forest. The tree made from memories and full of love.
So we too now will make our tree full of memories and full of love. You hopefully received a leaf, a fall leaf on your way in. If you don't have one, raise your hand and the ushers will come bring the basket by to you. What I will invite you to do, just a couple here, we'll give Marta and Al a chance to bring leaves to you. What I'll invite everyone to do with your leaf and hopefully you have a pen or you can borrow one from a neighbor who got one, is to write on one side the name or the initials of someone in your life who you have loved and lost. It could be a friend or an ancestor, or maybe someone you never met but who has shaped your life. It could be a pet, it could be a long ago spiritual ancestor, someone who you have just heard stories of. On one side of the leaf, write their name, and on the other side of the leaf, consider one gift that you received in your life from their having lived. One gift that their life gave to yours. And you might come with a word or a symbol to capture that idea on the other side of the leaf. Once you have your name and your gift written on your leaf, I invite you to bring them forward and hang them on this memory tree, that we may honor and remember our beloved dead together.
They who are remembered lives. 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 Mabuhay mga ninuno. Mabuhay mga ninuno. They who are remembered lives. They who are remembered lives. Sing with me, they who are remembered lives. They who are remembered lives. They who are remembered lives. They who are remembered lives.
What a beautiful ceremony. In my wealth advisory practice, I address the two major concerns that we all have. The first concern, how can I continue to live my fullest life without fear of outliving my money? And this is a question most of us will ask ourselves, and is often how many conversations will start with a new client. The second question is less considered, but in my opinion is equally important. How can I be sure not to die with too much? How can dying with too much be a problem? My clients will ask. And my answer is this. Every dollar unspent is that much life unlived. Every dollar not assigned to a purpose in an estate plan is a dollar which could have made a difference in someone else's life. This axiom is equally relevant in our spiritual lives as it is in our financial. How can I live the fullest life experience while here on earth, and at the same time give my gifts of love and wisdom to as many people I can before passing, so that my life experience does not end when I am released to eternity? When we think of inheritance, we often think of physical possessions, money, property, family heirlooms. But what we inherit from those who have passed is far more profound and intangible than what we can see, touch, or spend. We inherit wisdom, values, traditions, stories, and the legacy of their lives. We inherit the wisdom of their experiences, the lessons they learned, the insights they gained. We inherit their values, the principles they stood for, the causes that they championed. We inherit their traditions, the rituals and the practices that gave meaning to their lives. We inherit their stories, the narratives that shaped their identity and gave context to their existence. We also inherit their legacy, the impact that they made on the world, the difference that they made in the lives of others. This legacy is not just a historical artifact, but a living reality that continues to influence us and shape our own lives as we will hopefully shape the lives of others. And as we have a moral duty to be wise with the wealth which may pass on to us, we are likewise not just passive recipients of our spiritual inheritance. We have the responsibility to learn from the wisdom of those who have gone before us, to uphold their values, to carry on their traditions, to tell their stories, and to build on their legacy. As financial and spiritual wealth passes down to us, we become active participants in growing it and shaping it for the next generation. I was born on the 20th of June. Which is also the I was born on the 20th of June, which is also the day that my father died. Didn't practice it quite enough. My father died on my birthday. I was by his side with my stepmother, my brother, my stepbrothers. We were all with him on my birthday to say goodbye and to thank him for what he left for all of us. He was a beautiful man who touched the lives of many through his passionate commitment to helping others navigate the challenges of their lives. Now, every 20th of June, when I'm celebrating my birthday, I give thanks for the inheritance that I received from my father. An open heart, a compassionate worldview, a desire to make positive difference in the lives of others, a philosophy of living life to its fullest while creating opportunities for others to do the same. I'll close by sharing a dream I had shortly after my dad's death. In my dream, he and I were on a road trip together, as we had done on more than one occasion in his lifetime. He was behind the wheel in my dream, and sitting in the passenger seat, I turned to him in confusion, and I said, "But Dad, you're dead." My ghostly father kept his hands on the wheel and turned to me and said, "Yes, son, but I can still drive."
I used to hate Halloween. I clearly like it now. But I used to hate Halloween because when I was 2 years old on Halloween, I lost my mother. And so I spent a lot of time thinking that this time of year was only about death and about loss. And then many, 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 many years later, something happened on Halloween. I found out that I was pregnant with my very first child, Aiden James. And he was born in the same month that she was born. So I found out that he was coming the day that she died, and then he was born the same month that she was born. And he is wearing her face, literally. Then 10 years after that, 2 days before Halloween, I found out about that little pink princess down there. Aslan Joan. My mother's name was Joan Helen Walker, as in Joan of Arc. And so 2 days before Halloween, 10 years after I had found out about my son, I got Aslan Joan. And after I found out that she was coming, I got to invoke the ancestors at a ritual called the Spiral Dance. We have sang some songs from that ritual today. And I got to invoke the ancestors, knowing that I was carrying the seed of one in my stomach. And it was an amazing moment. What is remembered truly does live. And I invite all of you to remember your ancestors and your beloved ones that have as I say, have parted the veils. And as you came in, you received an ancestor wand. I'm calling them ancestor wands. They kind of look like little tongue depressors. Sure, use what you got. And you were able to get a gel pen. And I invite you now to make an ancestor wand in honor of that ancestor, those ancestors, those pets, whoever you so choose. Draw them a picture, write down their name, whatever way feels best to honor them. And after you've done so, we're going to, you can tap the ground, although the ground is a place where we put bodies, but not a place where spirits live. But we can honor our spirits by tapping the ground with our ancestor wands. Or you could tap the pew, because that's made of wood, which comes from trees, which comes from the earth, so that's similar as well. Or you could tap the wand against your hand, because your earth represents your groundedness, your body that's connected to this earth. So I invite you to take a moment to write those names and draw those pictures, and then we will honor them together. You can do it silently, or you can speak their names.
As our story comes to a close, invite all those creatures back around the tree. If you'd like to come gather around our memory tree. Bring your ancestor wands if you've got one. Come gather around the tree and let other people have some animals too, sweetie pie. Fox's tree was big enough and strong enough to shelter all of the animals. It was always buzzing with life. Birds built their nests up in the leaves. Owl raised her grand chicks from the branches. Squirrel, wow. Oh. Squirrel found a cozy home in the trunk. Bear and deer and rabbit and seal and penguin and porpoise, they all made their lives around this tree. The tree buzzed with life and gave strength to everyone who had loved Fox. So Fox lived on in their hearts forever.
And now, I invite you to take out those ancestor wands. If you made one, raise them up in the air. Just take a deep breath.
Okay, sweetie.
Close your eyes. Remember those beloveds. And if you feel comfortable, tap them against the pew, against the ground, against your hand, and say their names. I'll begin. Joan Helen
Jared.
Walker.
Divinia Fuentes Delfino. Johnny Salapacio Salas.
Blessed be.
We'd like to now invite you into the spiritual practice of generosity. We've said a lot about passing on, and here's an opportunity for that. So instead of passing the plate, you can give electronically by scanning the QR code on the back of your badge, or you can put cash or check donations into the donation envelope that you'll have in front of you, and you can write your name on it and mark offering plate or pledge, and then put it into the donation box beside the fountain in the atrium as you leave the service. Or if you have an old hard drive with a cache of Bitcoin, you can bring it around anytime. An old boat that you're not using, you can donate that, just sign over the title. Anything that you feel like you want to pass on, we receive with gratitude. Each week, half of the offering plate is shared with a nonprofit Good Neighbor organization recommended by our wonderful Social Justice Committee Council. Thank you so much for sharing your generosity with UCB and our good neighbors. The good neighbor for this month is GRIP. GRIP, which stands for the Greater Richmond Interfaith Program, is a multicultural, multi-ethnic coalition of congregations from various faiths working together as a diverse, inclusive coalition. Its dedicated mission is to provide a safe, nourishing place to help those in our community who are unsheltered and need to transition into self-sufficiency. Thank you.
I am stretched on your grave and will lie there forever, with your hands held in mine. I'd be sure we'd not sever. My apple tree, my brightness, it's time we were together. For I smell of the earth and am stained by the weather. When my family thinks that I'm safe in my bed, from night until morning, I'm stretched at your head. calling out to the air with tears, both hot and wild. Oh, I grieve for the mother that I loved as a child. The priests and the druids behold me in dread, because I still love you, my love, and you're dead. I would still be your shelter from rain and from storm. But with you in your cold grave, I cannot sleep warm. I am stretched at your grave and will lie there forever. With your hands held in mine, I'd be sure we'd not sever. My apple tree, my brightness, 'tis time we were together, for I smell of the earth and am stained by the weather. I smell of the earth and am stained by the weather. I am stretched at your grave and will lie there forever.
Boy, this has been a tough one for me. Please join me in dedicating our offering. We dedicate our offering and ourselves to the mission of this congregation to create loving community, inspire spiritual growth, and encourage lives of integrity, joy, and service.
Good morning. It's been a tough one for me too. I'm Charis Tomador, your Connections Coordinator. If you're new to our church and you'd like to learn more about how to get connected, I welcome you to find me or any of the greeters at the welcome table in the atrium after the service. To find out what's happening in the life of our community, you can always check the news link on the homepage of our website, where you'll find our weekly newsletter, The Week Ahead, which includes a list of activities, announcements, and contact information. This week, I'd like to especially lift up the following. Next Sunday, November 5th, join us for Love Song Waltzes and Chocolate, a lovely and fun early afternoon program of music and chocolate. Tickets available at the door. On November 10th, the 2023 Lawrence Lecture presents spiritual theologian Matthew Fox. His lecture, titled Towards a New Mythology, New and Ancient Names for God Derived from Mystical Ancestors and Contemporary Science, and fit for some atheists too, will be followed by a Q&A led by our very own Reverend Marcus and a book signing. Tickets are available on our website and at the door. Now let's rise once more in body or spirit and join in singing our closing song.
Here we go. All right, try to get my page there. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the universe. We are the spirit of love. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and sons of great visions. Sons of the time. Bridges. Of ages, you're our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the spirit of love. Breathe, you'll be enjoyed. A morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Oh, reach out, beloved people. Reach out and touch an elbow or a shoulder or a hand or just to the great beyond. Feel ourselves connected, able to make music and worship even with 3 of our musicians sick at home, able to remember with story and ritual our beloved dead, to hold each other in laughter and in tears. We are one body and depend on each other more than we know. May this community and all those ancestors at your back carry you today and in the days to come. May it be so, and amen.
Of the waters, soothe away my anger, for I am soon to leave here in great fear and pain. Surround me with thy beauty, if it please thee that I might lose my fear of the flames. Spirit of the fire, hear me when I cry, for I am soon to die and leave a daughter to mourn. Let me burn brightly, if it please thee, that she might see my light and be warm. Spirit of the air, lift my ashes quietly, so high above this gathering, and let them fall away. And let this be a sign, if it please thee, that I shall be returning on the north wind. Spirit of the earth, I give my body to thee. Oh, let my bones scattered be among the growing things. Then let the forest grow, if it please thee, o'er this place of suffering.